You're listening to Love, Guns and Freedom with Luca Zanna on United States.fm network.
Here we go. You're listening to Love, Guns and Freedom with Luca Zanna on K-Talks 1340 AM. This is the second hour. It's going to be about guns, training, and more important now about the Arizona concealed carry permit classes that I will start to keep here and develop here and also teach here in Mojave County, Arizona. Now, I want to say something. First of all, Merry Christmas again. I didn't say enough, probably. You hear the first hour, I love to bring people from other worlds, other continents, other nations. Why? Because it's so beautiful, first of all, even I'm a very proud American, and I think, I believe in nationalism, I believe in sovereignty. I also believe that it's beautiful to interact with other people from other nations, from other cultures, and also learn from each other. This is, for me, the idea of true freedom. You can be free to go anywhere you want, of course, always with a passport and a visa, hopefully, or maybe just a passport, just to keep it simple. We don't cross fences here, okay? Because after all, you must recognize the sovereignty of the other nation. But why that's so important, that sovereignty? Because, sometimes tyranny may flourish in one place, and you can still stay in your place where you have your freedoms. For example, I don't want to be a global citizen when I know that the rest of the world, they don't have what we supposed to have here in America, like the Bill of Rights. I don't want to give up my Bill of Rights. I don't want to give up my First Amendment. I don't want to give up my Second Amendment, the rest of the rights. And I know very well that the rest of the world does not have these principles, doesn't have the Declaration of Independence, doesn't have this type of constitution. Even it's not perfect, it's the best document we ever had. Where am I going to this, since we're talking about guns? Well, let me tell you. You heard my friend Jesse from Sweden. They're living in fear for their lives. They had to pretty much go out in groups, like a pack of herds, like a pack of sheep, to try to get out in Sweden, to go to a disco night, to a club. Something used to be beautiful, peaceful. I have friends from Sweden. I tell you, maybe I shouldn't tell you, I had a lot of girlfriends from Sweden when I was in Europe, especially when I was in Canary Islands surfing. And they were beautiful women, smart women, sometimes too beautiful. That's never too beautiful. Anyway, but that's not the point. My point is, wow, now they are living in fear to go out. Supposed to be a modern place, men respect women, and now they are surrounded by this pack of barbarians. That's not right. And what's the government going to give them as an option? Look in Austria. This little magic whistle, high-frequency whistle, or the little bracelet, like in Arabic or whatever, in whatever language they have, do not rape. Are you kidding me? You should give them a Glock. That's what you should give them, and training. And we are here in America, and we have this right. And we are here, and we can carry, in Arizona especially, with or without a permit. And I already told you last Sunday why I think you should apply for a concealed carry permit in Arizona. There are a lot of benefits. The good thing, it is not a privilege. The good thing, you can carry a weapon, concealed or open, just because you're a law-abiding person without any government paperwork, and that's great. At the same time, I told you, I don't want to repeat myself, but there is a blog. If you want to read my blog, go to ArizonaConcealedCarryPermit.com, and it reminds you the 6 reasons why it is so important, in my opinion, the benefits that you can get if you apply for a concealed carry permit. So, that's why I want to bring you the rest of the world, how they're struggling. Because we all struggle in different ways. But here we still have it better, believe it or not. We still can fight back. Okay? Women can be armed. Men can be armed. So, I would like to talk with you about a couple news after this. But more important now, first of all, I want to officially announce the first date of the Arizona Concealed Carry Permit in Mojave County. The first date of the first class. And I remind you, if you're out there listening, if you're a single mother, that means you're not married, you're taking care of your child or your children, guess what? I believe in helping my fellow man and woman. The class, it's free. It's on me, okay? And that's very simple. If you're a single mother, you have a free class. You still need to apply for the paperwork with the DPS. That's up to you. But it's not much. It's $60. So you got a free $85 class, okay? All my love and all my time for you. Also, if you are a person with serious disabilities And when I say serious disabilities, I don't mean that you have a back pain, the morning you didn't sleep right. No, I'm talking about you really have a physical condition that, hey, I need some help. Maybe on the wheelchair, or maybe you got disability that really you can improve, and you cannot afford it. Guess what? It's for me. It's on me. Okay? This is a way I believe sharing love, sharing wealth. This is not like the government forcing us, pointing a gun at us. I believe in charity. I believe in helping. I believe in giving out of my good own will. Not about government coercion, extortion, called taxation. But that's another story. Now, let's start. What I want to accomplish in this hour. First of all, we will talk about some news. Why it's so important for law-abiding people to carry a weapon and being trained. Okay, because it's happening. It's happening again. Europe is completely out of control, as you can see. It happened, of course, you know this. I don't want to, the latest news, what happened in Germany, the potential truck driver, honestly, we still don't know all the facts, but guess what? Doesn't sound that was a Christian out there doing the job, for sure. But more important, that evil is out there. And now, unfortunately, this government is unleashing more evil on us. When you have a complete, let's say, unvetted number, almost unlimited numbers, because we're talking about hundreds of thousands of people, they want to let them in from different parts of the world that unfortunately we know very well. They are different background, different cultural background, different also mental background, a religious background that doesn't really comply or compatible, with the rest of the world. Guess what? We're going to have a problem. It's only a question of time. So it's our duty to defend ourselves. It's our duty to start to have a plan and training and carry. I think always the handgun, it is not a weapon. I know NRA doesn't like this term as a weapon. It's a tool. But at the end of the day, you are the weapon. Forget about the gun. Your mindset is the weapon. I don't need a gun to be deadly. Okay? And I don't want to be deadly. Let's be honest. I'm not here to kill anybody. I'm here to stop the threat. I'm here to stop evil. That's the right mindset. We are not here to kill. We are here to save life. Okay? But at the end of the day, I am the freaking weapon. Okay? The gun is just a piece of metal. You can have the most expensive, powerful, whatever accurate gun you want. If you're a moron, the gun is not going to do anything good to you. You can be more little with a pencil and the right mindset. I don't even need a pencil. I can come after you with my teeth. I can rip completely your throat out of your face. How much brutal you are. No, I'm not brutal. But I tell you something. If the mechanism of self-defense, and more important, of life instinct, survival instinct, the warrior instinct, when you're pointing yourself in the situation that you have no other hope, no way to retreat, and it's going to be your life or the innocent life of your family member or even somebody I don't know. Somebody's innocent out there. I'm not going to let them die or let her die. I got to do everything I can to stop the evil bastard. And I don't have a gun. Guess what? I still have teeth. That's why I call Zanna. My name is Zanna, means fang. Okay? Maybe it's my instinct. That'd be scary crap, man. Anyway, the point is, yes, I would bite you on your throat. That's the story. Now, let's talk a little bit news, and then we go to a very important topic about, I want to give you all the outlines of what's going to be taught at the Arizona Concealed Carry Permit classes, or the whole curriculum. We will go a little bit even maybe in details, okay? Now, Obama, meanwhile, before leaving office, laments his failure to enact gun control. Obama, go screw yourself, seriously, with all my heart. I can't wait you go back to the whatever hole in hell you are from, okay? Hopefully they can get you back in Kenya and give you some sort of, special hole there with the lions. Anyway, that's just my humble opinion. Anyway, the point is Obama doesn't stop. He doesn't stop. He still wants to try to push, asking to the Senate to push the United Nations Arms Trade Treaty, okay? Obama last week sent to the UN Arms Trade Treaty to the Senate for ratification. He's desperate to get lasting gun control enacted given this frustration with the gun-owning grassroots over the last 8 years. Guess what, Obama? Screw you. And that's why I tell you something. I admit when I'm wrong. I was wrong about the NRA. And you know my story. Maybe I told you. National Rifle Association, 10 years ago, I was becoming a life member. I already paid the money down. I, as a fresh American, I said, wow, I really want to join the NRA. Bang, 11 years ago. And I was becoming life member. Now, one thing didn't go right. And, I'm kind of no compromise guy. You know me. I have a lot of principle. When sometimes, I go no compromise. Sorry. The compromise was that I didn't like, at the time with NRA, that on their official website, or at least one of their official website, they had double language. And probably they still do. English and Spanish. I met with Mr. LaPierre, is the vice president of NRA, in Las Vegas 11 years ago. One of his book signing. I bought his book. I like the NRA. I got my membership, everything else. As a fresh new American, I really wanted to try to help as much as I could. And I said, Mr. LaPierre, how is possible that, me as a fresh immigrant, fresh American, former immigrant, I have no problem with English, because after all, the Bill of Rights is written in English. And how is possible that you guys, the NRA, has to put up this sort of double language website? Don't you think it's kind of weird? I mean, if somebody wants to join the NRA, I think we should be able to think about it that it's in English. And they say, you're right, this is something that we should address. So I was hopeful, for me it was the principle. As I said, if you really want to do a website in English, in Spanish, you should do also maybe in Japanese, in Chinese, in Italian, whatever the language you think. And I don't want that, of course. I want just in English. Anyway, so he told me, Luca, please write to the NRA membership office, whatever, and I will try to answer to you at least. Okay, I write them, and I still have the letter, and they wrote me back, Mr. Zanna, if you don't like our policy, you're always welcome to resign from the NRA. And you know what? 11 years ago, I did. Because for me, the principle was pretty much too much. I say, wow. Now, as I said, I learn. I still have the same opinion, by the way. I still believe that if you join the NRA, you're supposed to be speaking English, okay? Because America is Bill of Rights and the Constitution, Declaration of Independence is written in English, not in Spanish, not in Italian, not in Chinese, English. That's it. So I still have the same opinion. At the same time, I try to look at the big picture. We are at war, okay? Sometimes we need to help or create support, let's say, friends that maybe we don't agree on everything. I don't agree on everything on the NRA. There are some things I don't like. I don't like sometimes their stance on ATF. I think ATF should be abolished, in my opinion. But that's another story. But regardless, NRA has been a very important part in these elections to defeat Hillary. That's very important. NRA is trying to put out some decent bills out there. NRA is doing a great job, at least in educating the people, in teaching the basic marksmanship and also education. So there is a lot of good things. I cannot just put everything in the garbage just because I have, of course, my convictions about when it comes down to these issues that I just told you. At the same time, I say, you know what? I want to join the NRA. And not only I want to join the NRA, I want to help them recruit people. And I realize, this is important. We need them all. I'm a proud member of the Arizona Citizen Defense League. I'm a life member. I paid $500 membership a few years ago. Proud of it. I'm also a member of the Jewish for Preservation of Firearms. And I try to support every other organization, like Gun Owners of America. But now NRA, I said, I want to become a member. So much that not only, I joined NRA doing, qualifying as an instructor in different classes. I also am a range safety officer, certified pistol instructor, inside the house instructor, outside the house self-defense instructor, and different things I like to do with them because I really like their curriculum. You learn a lot, you learn a little bit from everybody, I love the curriculum from Frontsight. I also love the curriculum from NRA. They all offer different angles. So it's important we have an open mind. At the same time, I think it's very important what they're doing politically. We need the numbers of gun owners behind, that they get involved, they get reminded what to do, to inform, to vote, to call, to send money. This is important to support the right candidates. So that's what I want to say. Now, if you want to help us, when I say help us, means also the NRA and myself. I can give you the opportunity to join the NRA, save money, at the same time you help this show. Very simple. You go to lovegunsfreedom.com. lovegunsfreedom.com. On the main site, at the bottom of the page, there is a little banner. Join the NRA. Click in the banner and you can choose the membership that you want. Not only you join the NRA and you save money, but I get here a couple bucks, really a couple, not much, but doesn't matter. It's the principle that allows me to support the show and to keep it free from corporate control. And you know the story. On the show, we can talk about things that nobody else. I don't need to ask permission to anybody. No matter if I'm on the air or from on the internet, I do exactly the same. I need your time. I need your help. Okay? You can buy, of course, Zanna Coffee. You know the story, zannacoffee.com. But this is even better. You can also get benefits, by the way. When you become an NRA member, you have some sort of a really good benefits, starting from an insurance. I didn't know. Your guns are insured for a certain amount, depending on what type of membership. You have also some sort of a basic life insurance. Even if it's a small amount, it's very good. It's covered in case of an accident. I mean, it's really good. For a few dollars, less than a couple dollars, a month. Talking about $30 for the year, the membership, it's nothing. It's really worth it. At the same time, they keep you updated with information, with all the different laws. And don't get now wrong because you think you got Trump. We got Trump as a president, and we have all these Republicans in the House and the Senate. Guess what? These Republicans in the House and the Senate, they're the first time problem that we had because Obama was allowed to do all this crap. Trump may be a decent man. We will see. I hope so. But for sure that most of these Republicans, they are pure scum. And this is me talking. Yes, most of these Republicans that we had, they are pure scum. They are sold out pieces of garbage. Okay, let's not forget the Paul Ryan of the world, and McConnell, and the other drunk, what is the name? The one, my gosh, that Bonner. I call him Bonner. Okay, these people are just pure filth. Okay, seriously, I have no respect for them. Probably I have as much as no respect for them as Democrats. But at least Democrats, you know what you get. You know, they're pure garbage. They try to get your money. They want to make you slave of the state. That's okay. You know where they're coming from. But these Republicans, you know, they go all wrap around the Constitution. They think such a great freedom-loving people. And they're just corporate whores. That's what they are, corporate whores. Okay? That's what you are. And of course, there are some exceptions. There's decent Republicans out there that they're still holding the line. And I hope we can get more. That's why we're here. Okay? I'm not here to bash. I'm here to try to be a positive, constructive bashing. Okay? So we bash to build, not to destroy. Now, after we talk about this great news from Mr. Marxist the Kenyan, or Kenyan the Marxist, Obama, about trying to push again this small arms treaty in the Senate before he leaves office, I'm having my little last sip of Zanna coffee. By the way, I love coffee. This is my third coffee this morning. I don't know if I'm going to be okay, but whatever. I'm loving it. Anyway, Zanna coffee, by the way, if you want, is really good. By the way, I'm sold out. So the straight shot espresso is sold out for at least another week. But you can start to place orders if you want. Go to zannacoffee.com. And, you know, it's a great coffee. It's organic coffee, and also you help the show. zannacoffee.com. Now, back to business. As I promised, we were going to talk right now about the outlines, the curriculum that we will teach. I will personally teach at the Arizona Concealed Carry Permit classes. First class. You know, you have to write it down, please. January the 14th, 2017. Can you believe that? January 14th, 2017. Where? At Shots Gun Shop in Kingman. Now I'll give you also the address and the phone number. Look how good I am. We have the class starting at 9 o'clock in the morning. Shots Gun Shop in Kingman. It is exactly at 3140 Airway Avenue, Kingman, Arizona. Phone number, write it down. 928-681-3400. 928-681-3400. Okay? So the first class is going to be January the 14th, 9 o'clock. Remember, if you're a single mother, you can apply for the class for free. And I'm not even going to say in public. I'm not going to say, oh, you're for free, you're a single mom. No, I am pretty decent guy. I will keep it private. I respect your privacy and also for your safety. I'm not going to say to the world that you're a single mom. Like, oh, welcome to the single mom into a class. No, that's your business. It's our business, okay? But it's on me. If you're a person with disability, you can prove it, you get the class for free. The rest of humanity, law-abiding people, okay, if you come there, you have a felony, can carry a gun, no, can come there. Don't waste your time, okay? But if you're a law-abiding person, and I'll tell you now what type of conditions to apply for the class, you're welcome. It is just $85. This is one of the most complete classes in the state of Arizona. Because technically now, they can give you CCW, just attend, like watch a video for an hour, and they say, they sign it for you. Yeah, you watch the safety, you can go. It's a joke. I mean, some people like to do that, that's fine. For me, this is it's a responsibility also for myself. If you go out and you have a gun, as a law-abiding person, I want to do my best to give you the best information I can, not only to save your life, but also to comply to the basic laws that we have in this state, to not get in trouble with the law, if it's possible. Even, of course, I'm not a lawyer, and I will tell you, I'm not giving you legal advice, but at least I will read for you the basic statutes that we have. But more important, also, you are an asset, but you can also be a responsibility, a liability on the streets. You can be an asset or you can be a liability. That's up to you, and also up to the people that you look for training. That's why I want you to be an asset. But the last thing we need is a gun owner not knowing what he's doing, what she's doing, and in the middle of a freaking street start to shoot at things and missing, or maybe shooting when it's not time to shoot and killing or probably harming some innocent. No, we don't want that. Okay? So it's our responsibility to try to do the best we can. Now, first of all, what do you expect from today's class? Okay, this is the class that I want to start to talk to you. What do you want to leave when you finish your class? What is your goal? You want just a piece of plastic called Arizona Concealed Carry Permit released by DPS? That's not going to be the real solution. I mean, that's just a piece of plastic. You know what it does to you? It just reminds to the government that you have a background check cleared, or a clear background check, you're not a felon, and you can carry a gun, and you have some little extra benefits where you can carry a gun. That's it. It doesn't give you any special powers, you have any type of special, skills, nothing. The piece of plastic doesn't help you at all. You are the person they need to look for training. Remember though, police have no legal duty to protect you or any other individual. That's the reality. Criminals choose their victims, and now we will go there during the class exactly how they choose their victims. Victims, you have no rights. You can say, oh, this is not fair, I have a right, I'm a human being. They don't care, they kill you. First they rape you and then they kill you. And they may rape also your dog, trust me. These people are evil bastards. Your safety at the end, and the safety of your family, it is in your hand. And that's why I'm here, okay? That's why for me this is important. This is not just about another business. This is not just about selling you something. This is about, for me, try to have as many law-abiding people on the streets to be ready to do everything they can to stop evil. More of us, we are out there, more we can stop evil. That's the idea. It's a battle, good against evil. Now, we go first of all, one point at a time. There are more than 22 points that I will go through this class. Right now I will go very fast because of course time is short. I don't have 4 hours or 5 hours, but at the same time I want to give you an idea what's going on. First of all, the moral and ethical decision. If you had to, would you use lethal force, or could you use lethal force to defend yourself, your family, or even others around you? Please think about it, because this is probably the most important question before we start the class. If you have a problem related to your religion, to your morals, to your beliefs, that you are not able to shoot, or in this case to, let's say, take a life, to save a life. I don't care if it's a knife or a baseball bat or a gun, still the same concept. If you're not able to take a life, to save a life, you should not do this class. Don't waste the money. Don't even buy a gun, because all you do, you give another, to another criminal, you give him a weapon. They're going to take the weapon out of your hands. So think about it. I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to put you down. I respect you for whatever you decide. I respect you. Not everybody's the same. But this is the most important first step we have to do. So if the answer is no, please, do not even listen to the rest of the show. It's a waste of time. Put some football or some other stuff, okay? Now, remember, We use the gun as a tool of last resort. In a life-threatening situations only. The gun is not something to show off. It is not something to intimidate. It is not something to say, I got a gun. No. The gun is the last resort. And remember, we don't have gun or guns, in this case, to kill people. We don't want to kill anybody. We are here to save. This is something you need to really put in your mind and, write it in the front of your head if you have to. Save innocent lives. We use gun to stop threats, not to kill. Okay? Because that's very important. You're not a killer. You're here as a law-abiding person. You want to save lives. Now, who can own a firearm? We are here in Arizona, thank God, and we don't need to ask permission to have a weapon if you're a law-abiding person. We have also in Arizona Constitution, not just the Bill of Rights. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Period. Okay? Also in Arizona, we have Article 2nd, Section 26, the right of the individual citizen to bear arms in defense of himself or the state shall not be impaired, but not in this section shall be construed as authorizing individuals or corporations to organize, maintain, or employ an armed body of men. Okay? The bottom line, if you are a person, an individual citizen, your right should be not impaired. Okay? That's the bottom line. So, that's good. It's a good start. Now, to apply to Arizona CCW, you must be a resident of the state or a United States citizen. Okay? Be 21 years old or older. Not be under indictment for felony offense. Not be convicted of any felony offense unless the conviction has been expunged. Okay? Not suffer from mental illness and being adjudicated mentally incompetent. Satisfactory completed firearm safety training program approved by the Department of Public Safety. Okay? And that's why you're here. Okay? Not being unlawfully present in the United States. So if you're a freaking illegal alien, please, okay, don't even try. Okay? You got the wrong address if you come here. All right? That's the bottom line. Now, state prohibitors, okay? You will see more when you come to the class who also cannot do, okay, this type of class, okay? We cannot own a gun. I don't want to waste too much time. By the way, I give you also a booklet, a PDF booklet with all the curriculum of the class included in the price. I'm great. I've been working very hard, by the way, for this booklet. It's like 60, 70 pages almost, and it's incredible. It's all the curriculum, so you don't need to write down. You got all the points. I wake up at 3:30 in the morning just to do it for you, okay? So I hope you appreciate it. Now, let's go to the point now. Benefits of obtaining an Arizona CCW. I already told you last time. I'm going to go short now. Number one, responsibility in education. You need to know at least what you do not know. I mean, this is not the end of your journey. This is just the beginning. I'm not going to be able to teach you in 4 hours or 5 hours everything you need to know. I mean, this is just to show you what you should know. Okay? And then it's up to you to continue and find more training. Maybe with me if you want to, of course. I love that. Now, no background check when you purchase a firearm. If you have a CCW, as you know, you don't need to have anymore this background check. It's at least in Arizona. You know, you come here, you show your ID, your CCW. They don't need to call the NICS, the feds, the Federal Bureau, whatever, the FBI. You get your gun, bang, you're out of the shop. Improving quality of the potential encounters with law enforcement. I believe they're really important. If you read my blog on ArizonaConcealedCarryPermit.com, you will see what I mean. Carry permit you can carry your gun in restaurants that allow carry where alcohol is served, with exceptions, of course. Then you have carry privileges in 35 states. Okay? And then you have also the 1,000 feet school ground free zone and school ground with exceptions that you can carry a gun with exceptions. Okay? Now, basic firearm safety. People say, oh, I already know this stuff. Guess what? I don't care. I want to be sure everybody knows it the same way, because I tell you, I go to gun show and I freak out. I see people that they're supposed to sell guns, supposed to be familiar with guns. They break the first law of this book every time. First of all, you must treat every weapon as if it's loaded. I don't care. By the way, I already checked. The chamber is empty. Don't worry about it. I don't care. It's loaded. I don't care. Every weapon. Rule number one, treat every weapon as if it is loaded. Number two, you never let the muzzle of the weapon, yes, I say weapon, NRA doesn't want a weapon, but this is not an NRA class. I want to call it a weapon. This is not a tool only. It's a weapon. Let's not forget, okay? You don't want to cover or point the muzzle or anything. At anything you are not willing to destroy. That's another thing freaks me out at gun show. Freaks me out. They point the freaking muzzle everywhere. Now, rule number 3, keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to fire. Simple as that. Or you are on target. Okay? Rule number 4, be sure of your target and what is in line with your target. So, remember, not just because when you're at the range, you see the target is downrange. In the real life, you may have things between, or people between, or behind. What if you miss? What if your round over-penetrates? Remember, you're liable for every round coming out of the barrel of your gun. Period. No excuses. Now, other important things. If the gun falls off your hands, out of your hands, let it fall. Do not try to catch it. That's the moment that, you're going to probably shoot yourself in the face. Yes, most of these modern guns, they have a very strong safety mechanism. Even if you drop the gun with a round in the chamber, it's going to be safe. For example, the Glock. If you have a gun that is antique, it doesn't have this sort of a criteria of safety, just leave it at home. Don't carry it with you, please. When you reinsert your handgun in your holster, always do it slowly. People, believe it or not, I see slamming this gun in their holster like bang. Especially, you have a very dangerous situation. The gun, the trigger may reach maybe one of your shirt that you didn't tuck in very right, and bang, you can shoot yourself. 3, every time you fire firearms, you should wear eye and ear protection. And when you come to the class, I show you also different options. And of course, in the real life situation, somebody is jumping on you with a knife. You're not going to have the time. Wait a second, let me put my earplugs. No, you're going to shoot no matter where you are, how you are. But in ideal situations, if you have a chance, we will go through, maybe not in this class, but let's say home defense. Guess what? When I go around the home at night, if I see a noise, I'm always going to have my ear protection, amplified electronic ear protection. Because if I had to shoot that round, man, it's going to hurt you if you don't have that protection. It's going to hurt your ears. So that's the point. Anyway, number 4, never use drugs or alcohol before or during shooting a gun. Period. Okay? And more important, don't forget, you're liable civilly and criminally for every bullet coming out of the barrel of your gun. So let's go. Marksmanship fundamentals, presentation and stance. This is something that normally they don't even do anymore at the basic CCW classes because you don't even need to shoot anymore. All you have to do is get some safety. Guess what? I'll give you also these basics. We may have no time to practice it, but at least I wanted to give them to you, start to give you an idea what you should know, what you should look. First of all, sight alignment. You know what is sight alignment? You don't know, we need to study this. More important, you need to practice it. Sight alignment is the relationship between the front and the rear sight of your gun. Simple as that. You want to obtain the perfect sight alignment when you can. Under stress, you're not going to have the perfect sight alignment. From 0 to 7 yards, you can still hit the target just because your front sight is going to be there on target. Maybe not accurate, but that's fine. But in the real world, that's the way it can work. But first, you must learn the basic concept of sight alignment. Try to get the front sight completely flushed in the rear sight, between the rear sight, Okay? Now, center it must be that you must be equally spaced between the left and the right of the rear sight. And don't forget, the most important thing, you want to focus on the front sight. We will go now with the sight picture. Sight picture is the placing of your sight alignment on target, exactly on the part of the target that you want to hit. Okay, so you get the sight align, and then you postpone this sight picture of this front and rear sight exactly where you wanted to do it. Now, very important, you can also call the sight picture the relationship between the aligned sights and the target. I like simple words, sometimes I talk too much. Now, what you do in this most important thing of your sight picture, you focus on the front sight. There are 3 parts you can focus technically: on the target, on the rear sight, or on the front sight. If you want to be accurate, you don't want to reinvent the wheel, you want to focus on the front sight. Always. All the other things must be a little blurry. That's very important. Trigger control. Trigger control means you want to manipulate the trigger in such a way that you do not compromise or alter, change your sight alignment or the sight picture. You do that with training, with practice. You start dry practice first. And of course, when you come to the class, I show you how to do it. I'll show you also photos, but more important, I'll do it for you. where exactly you can place the finger placement, depending on which gun you have. Very important. And don't forget the magic 2 words, surprise break and trigger reset. That right now on the air I don't have much time, and I need to show it to you. Okay, but this is something very important. Okay, now stances. How do you shoot your gun? There are different stances. Sometimes in real life, you don't have time to put yourself in any stance. They're going to jump on you. You may shoot a gun maybe from ground, or maybe just kneeling behind the trash can. The reality is, if you have a chance, you want to practice with every stance out there. And then, of course, under stress or with your instinct, you will come down to the best stance according to the scenario. We have 2 basic stances. The isosceles. The shooter faces the target squarely. The feet are shoulder width apart. Toes face the target and they are aligned. The knees are little flexed. Shooter leans forward from the waist towards the target. The shooter's arms are extended and form an isosceles triangle. What is good about this? It's easy to set up. It's laterally stable, versatile. You can move left or right, and you're still always holding the same way the gun. For me, the cons are lack of vertical support, little more problem with the recoil management, and I'll show you why when you come to the class. I don't think it's as good, with the recoil as the modified Weaver that I'll talk to you now. And also exposes your vital organs, especially if you do not wear body armor. I mean, this is great if you're a cop. You got body armor, all your front chest and center mass body is covered. If you're a regular guy, maybe you don't wear body armor every time you go out the house. Well, I don't like to expose on my body like that. I like to have more a sense like I'm fighting, I'm boxing. So I like the modified Weaver for a reason. And by the way, when you come to the class, I'll show you how to do it. Not over the phone, over the freaking radio here. It's not that simple. But you can visualize it, or maybe just go online and check it out. Modified Weaver. The shooter blades his body, almost like a boxing, placing the foot on the firing side back a little bit and turning the support side towards the target. Okay? The shooter's strong or firing side arm is extended with the elbow slightly bent. Okay? And the support arm elbow is bent. That's really important because first of all, you have 2 things happening here. Your support arm's elbow is bent 90 degrees. Okay? That gives you the vertical support. My opinion is very important. Second thing, when you have this type of position, you have your firing hand and your support hand applying isometrical pressure. I mean, what what? Isometrical. That means, your firing hand push and your support hand pull in a way that almost contrast each other, nullify each other, and you have much more stable situation with the recoil. Then, of course, your firing elbow is slightly bent. It helps to absorb the recoil. Shoulder is locked. So it's a great thing. Then you have reality stance. I don't care how. If you attack, you just try to find the most stable position where you can combat, accurate, deliver as many rounds as you can to stop the deadly threat. Now, we will talk also about the presentation from the holster, something I don't want to do right now on the air. Okay, the bottom line is you don't walk with your gun in your hand. That's a fact. People say, I got a gun. I'm ready to go. No, you don't have a gun because normally when you have the gun, it is in your pocket or in your holster. And at home, you may have it somehow, at least the extra edge that you can have the gun already ready to go because let's say if you hear noise, the gun is in your hand. But in the real life, daily world, if you are concealing the gun in the public, you must have the gun on you. The point is, how long does it take to you to present the gun into a fight if the situation arises? What? 5 seconds, 3 seconds? And also, how do you do it? Do you do it safely enough that you don't shoot yourself or shoot somebody else or muzzle somebody else out there? That's why the presentation is so important, especially if you want to carry a gun in public. Concealed or not. For sure, concealed even more, because you need to know how to handle your garments. Okay? That's very important. So that's the story. Now, what else? So we will talk about how to present the gun to a fight. The idea is that you should have a standard. You should start to look at yourself and improve yourself and know your numbers. Like your car. You know your car how fast can go. Not because you want to go fast, but because at least, if the emergency arises, you will push the, throttle and you will go as fast as you can. Same story with a gun. How long it takes you to present a gun from conceal into a fight and deliver at least a control pair into your opponent mass center, okay, of his body or her body. How long? 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds? And can you hit the target? That's a good question. The standard should be that you're supposed to at least be able to deliver a conversational distances, we're talking about between 3 and 5, 6 yards, a control pair from conceal in less than 2 seconds. That's the bottom line. Now, mindset and attitude. Remember, you are the weapon. I told you before, knowledge and attitude. I can, first of all, teach you, or let's say share with you knowledge. That's easy. No big deal. Just open your brain, sit up. Sit down and shut up for a second. We can learn that. Attitude, I can't. If you are a jackass, if you are a know-it-all, there is no way I can change that. Sorry. So it's very important, first of all, our attitude, I believe, is the most important thing. Be humble. We don't know everything. There is always something to know. No matter till the last day of your life, there is always something more to know. I don't care if you're already a champion. There is always something more to know. I learn a lot, so much. Just going back to the basics. When I did my NRA classes, I learned things that I thought I knew, and by now I can know a little better. And I learn from mistakes. That's the bottom line. So anyway, mindset, first of all, yes, you must have the warrior mindset, the combat mindset. But attitude is very important. I cannot teach you attitude. Please, be a good law-abiding person with an open, let's say, humble attitude. That's very important. Now, first of all, what is the best gunfight? It's the one you can avoid. We are not here to look for troubles. We are here to try to save lives and avoid troubles. Right now, the moment that you carry a gun, you're going to be also kept in higher standard. Very important. I really believe there is an expression. An armed society is a polite society. Of course, if you're a law-abiding person, if you are a trash, criminal, that's not the case. It is true. When you know the type of responsibility that you have on you, you don't want to go in a confrontation. You don't want to start to go anything close to a confrontation. Somebody called me names. Okay, thank you very much, man. Bye, see ya. Yeah, maybe 20 years ago I would have slapped him. Or maybe, I don't know, I would have dealt differently. I don't care now. Why should I even bother? Let him talk. What? It's his opinion anyway. Who cares? So, no. The best fight is the one you can avoid. And more important, don't forget, if you are into a fight, you already lost a little bit. Why? Because you didn't see it coming. You didn't see that you could have avoided that. That's for me the most important thing. To avoid a fight means that you are able to see it coming. And that's one thing we will talk today. How to avoid a fight, how to have the different level of awareness. So the point is also, we are the weapon. That's, as I said before, the gun is the tool. The gun is not a weapon, it's just a tool of last resort. And also more important, we're talking about real world here. Moment that you have no options to use that force, because you're not being given any options. They started the fight, they provoke you, but it's not about provoking. They put you in a situation that your life is in imminent danger, imminent, or your life of innocent, of family. At that point, they made their choice, and you have no way to come back. This is not about, fighting fair. When they start the fight, and you're into a fight, anything goes. You never surrender, number one. And there are no fairness. Fairness is a bad tactics in real life, okay? So you are the weapon. You do everything you have to do. With or without a gun, I don't care. You defend yourself, you fight for your life, and at the end of the day, they start the fight, you will end that fight. I don't care if you're like 80 pounds, sock weight lady. You will go for the throat with your teeth and you will rip them off. Simple as that. Now, you remember the movie The Shootist with John Wayne, 1976. I was in Italy and I watched it there. And I found there was a great line. I really like it. I found most men are not willing to bat an eye or draw a breath before they shoot. I won't. Sometimes it's not about being the fastest, it's being the most resolute, the one that already has the fighter mindset, the combat mindset. So anyway, that's the story. You gotta really visualize. You really must have a determination, never give up, and you must, of course, have a plan. Always have a plan. Okay. Number 7, types of guns and calibers. Find the gun that fits you. Okay. Now I don't want to go through all the guns. We already, my God, time's so fast. But I want to give you just an idea. Everybody's different. Your body is different. Your hand is different. So there is no a gun that works for everybody the same. But there are guns, there are principles that are supposed to belong to anybody's guns. For example, your gun must be reliable. Okay? If your gun is a piece of trash, let's say it shoots 1 round yes and 2 no's, or even just out of a magazine you have a malfunction, that's not the right gun. Throw it away. Sell it. Or not even sell it. Just, whatever. Put it in the safe. Forget about it. Must be reliable. Number 2, must be ergonomic for your hand. As I said, everybody has a different hand. So you must go to a shop or your friend, really say, can I please feel the gun? How does it fit in your hand? Is it too big? Is it too small? That's very important. Easy to operate under stress. Some guns, they are very nice, but for me, they are like, you need to get a degree in technology before you can operate them. All this safety, single action, double action, forget about it. I hate it. That's why I like Glocks. Okay, it's very simple to operate. Finger on the trigger, ready to shoot. Finger off the trigger, you're not shooting. Simple as that. But that's me. Whatever works for you, be sure that it's easy to operate under stress. Combat accurate. We're not looking here for guns to go to the next Olympic, game, to do your little one, super square inch group. No. Talking about combat accurate, that is an accurate gun for combat situation. Okay, real life situation. So don't spend too much money on fancy barrels or whatever barrels and super fancy red dot. We don't need all this stuff. Okay, basics. Easy to clean, assemble, disassemble. Nothing else to say. I mean, if you have a gun, every time you need to clean it, you need to go to let's say, a technician or a gunsmith. That's not your gun. Keep it simple. Keep it consistent. What does it mean? Always carry the same gun with the same gun that you train with. Okay? There is a proverb or an expression. Be careful of the man who owns one gun. He may know how to use it. That's very important. If you start to train with different guns every time and you carry a different gun from what you train, you're going to be in trouble. As simple as that. Different options of guns. I'm not going to spend too much time. You got a revolver single action. Just forget about it for self-defense. My opinion, that's not your choice unless you really don't have any idea. Think, okay, that's better than a rock, but not the first choice. Revolver double action. There are some benefits and some don'ts. We will talk this into the class. Semi-auto single action, like the 1911 type. It's a great gun, don't get me wrong, but there are also some situations that not everybody, in my opinion, is able to work correctly with this gun, especially in concealed environment, especially if you have, for example, purses of off-the-body garments or, let's say, concealed different areas. I would have never put a semi-automatic, for example, in a purse, okay, especially like 1911. Semi-automatic, double action, single action, like Beretta 92. Talk about that too. Semi-automatic, double action only, like the SIG 239 deck. Semi-auto striker fire type, Glock, my favorite. I know people say, what? You like Glocks? Yeah, I like Glock. All right. They are not very beautiful, but guess what? They work. Now, calibers. What is the best caliber? We will talk about calibers. We will talk about, first of all, different things you can do with calibers. And the principle is very simple. Whatever caliber you choose, be sure that you can handle the recoil. And it's better always to hit somebody with a 22. I don't want to say somebody, an aggressor with 22, than missing it with a 44 Magnum or a 45 ACP, okay? So no matter what, be sure your caliber works. But more important, don't forget, we have in an urban environment or whatever environment we have, we need to understand the over-penetration. So very important. So stay away from 44 Magnum or things like that. This is not a movie, okay? Now, very important, always check that the ammo has the right caliber for your gun, and you know how to check it. We'll talk about that in the class. Now, ammunition for self-defense. People say, well, I got my homebrew cyanide filled reloads. Stay away from reloads, period. Why? Reliability. And we will talk more into the class. Reliability is very important. And also reliability. I know your reloads are great, but guess what? I think I'm better off with some factory ammo, especially good quality factory ammo. Now, different types of ammunition, full metal jacket, hollow point, jacketed hollow point against lead. We got to talk about all this stuff. Be careful of plus P or plus PPP or whatever, high pressure. Stay away. Okay? My opinion, something that unless really your gun is set for that, stay away. Little bit learning about the recoil, the bullet, heavier the bullet, more the recoil, grains. You know the stuff? Great. If you don't know, great anyway. You gotta learn. Choose the name brand. How many rounds you should carry? 3 rounds, 3 yards, 3 seconds. That's what the FBI says. Normally 3 rounds, 3 yards, and 3 seconds, the basic confrontation. But you really gonna count on that 3 seconds and 3 rounds? What if you have more than one assailant? What if you are pretty much in a rural area far away from cops and probably it's going to take 30 minutes before even they come to find you? Well, I always carry as many rounds as I can without getting too heavy. Okay, but we'll talk about that too. Magazine, clip, speed loader. Let's learn about a little bit these different names. How to storage ammunition. How do you store ammunition? Yeah, you need to learn how to store ammunition. My gosh, we didn't touch even the beginning. 3 common ammunition malfunctions, hang fires, misfire, and squibs. You know about this? If you don't, it's a good time to come to the class. Dedicated carry systems. How to carry concealed with safety and efficiency. So what do you want to look for a carry system? First of all, you want to be sure that it has the element of concealment. That's why it's called concealed carry permit. The gun must be concealed. Then you want to have easy access. You don't want to have like spending 5 seconds or 6 seconds just to try to open that concealment. Must be immediate. Less than a split of a second. Retention. Yes, that holster or that system must retain the gun in a safe way. Don't want that it falls on the ground, and also you don't want that somebody, just can jump on you and get it easily from you. Level of comfort. You want to be comfortable, otherwise you're not going to carry the gun, period. And also must be safe. Some of these concealment, believe it or not, they are not safe to you or to others. And now we will talk how it's safe when the muzzle points at things that's supposed not to be pointed. Okay? Never point the muzzle, or let's put it this way, always point the muzzle in a safe direction. Let's say you have that vertical holster, shoulder holster, with a barrel pointed exactly to the person behind you. Let's say you go to you go to the grocery or to the bank. The person behind you in line is facing the beautiful muzzle of a 45 ACP on their face. I don't like that. Or let's say you have one of these sort of index, 1 o'clock, I call them, belt that goes directly to your, almost to your femoral artery holster. Okay, put yourself on the belt 1 o'clock and facing directly the barrel down to your artery of your leg, of your femoral artery. That's really not a good place. I like to put my barrel in case there is a discharge. Anyway, so holster, what to avoid, what to look for. Men and women, different body configuration. Hip holster, what is the best? 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, back carry 6 o'clock. Cross throw, pros and cons. Paddle holster against belt holster. Inside the waistband holster. My gosh, I brought a book here. Shoulder holster, pocket holster, ankle holster, belly bands. Off-body carry, purse, backpack, fanny pack, briefcases. No matter what, you have practice. Now, cover garments. Talk about that too. You want to be sure that they're comfortable, do not print the gun, they blend in with the environment around you, colors that better conceal, train at the range, how you carry. You see how much there is to learn? I'm just scratching the surface here. This class is going to be great. Seriously, I want to have law-abiding people out there trained with guns. This is also for me, it's a selfish way, yes, because I want to live in a safer society, not made safe just by the cops, because unfortunately, the cops, they can't do anything, they come always after. But what is really the final element of good against evil? It's a good law-abiding person with a gun, because that can be everywhere. So my little job here is try to get more of you guys out there on the streets with that knowledge, at least the beginning of your journey. And I always hope that you can continue this journey, getting more and more educated, more and more responsible, that, to carry a gun It is not a hobby. It is not a sport. It is a right, but also it's a big responsibility. That's why I want you really completely with me, or at least anybody. At least if you want to do it with somebody else, that's fine. I'm not jealous, okay? But at the same time, I'm trying here my best. Every time I do something, I do my best. And I take this very seriously. This is not just teaching a class. This is something about huge responsibility. I'm going to do the biggest, the most depth, informed class I can for the time that we have. And of course, then I always invite you to we can find more training. Now, time is already out. I haven't even scratched the surface. There's so much. I'll continue next Sunday. This is great. I really love it. I want you to go to ArizonaConcealedCarryPermit.com. Okay? ArizonaConcealedCarryPermit.com. Or you can just just send me an email. Zanna, Zanna, @zanna.us. Or go to lovegunsfreedom.com and you will find the banner. Send me an email. I'll tell you where we have in these classes. We have places in Kingman, in Lake Havasu. I'm organizing now a place also in Bullhead. Please, if you want to do a class, just call me, write me. And remember, free for single mothers and people with disability. How nice is that? Merry Christmas to all of you. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. I really enjoyed this hour. Now I'm going to go for hour number 3. It's going to be about love. It's Christmas after all. And I might have a surprise for you. Do not go away. Thank you very much and talk to you soon.
Don't tread on us. Do you want social justice? Now I give you social justice. The Zanna way. Don't trade on us. The Freedom Rifle by Zanna. The most affordable military-grade semi-automatic AR-15 rifle in M4 configuration, chambered in 223 Wild that can shoot both 5.56 NATO and 223 Remington. 4 minutes of angle for just $499. Made in the USA. Get your Freedom Rifle now. We need every law-abiding American armed with knowledge and at least one military rifle ready to defend good against evil. With every Don't Trade on Us rifle, you will get free parchment replica of the United States Constitution, free digital CD Don't Trade on Us, free ebook How to Become a Rifleman, free t-shirt Slaves Are Never Armed, I Am Not a Slave, free 30 rounds magazine where allowed by the law, free laser engraved ejection port Don't Trade on Us for just $499. Go to www.freedomrifle.com. www.freedomrifle.com. Get your Freedom Rifle now.